everything was sort of going fine until I had that typical chronic cough. I said, this isn't right.
I got the optic neuritis happening 2 weeks later. My left hand went numb and my left arm went
Went to
numb.
a pulmonologist. She says, well, you know, you may have idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
All of the receptors were positive. Then that pointed right to Taxotere and Perjeta and Herceptin as my cocktail.
I was able to go back to my neurologist with a brand new MRI. That's when he introduced me to Ocrevus.
Within a couple of months, I was on Esbriet.
Every day I try to find something that's good.
I'm honored to be here today. I want to introduce myself. My name is Odd Rod, and I'm a storyteller. You're probably asking, what is he doing here? Well, I'm here today because sometimes poets see things that others don't. It's not that others won't try to see what we see, but we can't always take the time to stop and appreciate. So today I want to take a moment to listen and see, really see into the stories of people you've helped, like I see it, like a storyteller would. I want you to feel how what drives us as we move through our lives fighting for what matters is the same. So if all the world's a stage, I want you to join me with my fellow players and take a journey. The first journey that we'll take belongs to Rick. Rick was a Navy pilot, and he's lived a life of service in every way imaginable. But lately, he's found himself in a new fight against idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. He's become an advocate. He leads the Hampton Roads IPF support group created by the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation and supported by a grant from Alliance and Advocacy Relations. He is also enrolled in the Pulmonary Fibrosis Registry, which was co-founded by Genentech through U.S. Medical Affairs and helps drive further understanding of this disease. So I want you to say, if I can get everyone to say, Rick's journey. It seems that every flight has turbulence, some much more than others. But in those times, we often find how much we need each other. There are stories undiscovered by those who pass us by. Heroes walk among us, keeping who they are inside. Surviving Nam in 67 is a feat all in itself. His stories are eternal should his medals ever melt. What better teacher have we for the journey, for the generations coming, than a professor with experience in fighting for our country? But every flight has turbulence, much more than others. Some will knock you off your seat and have you thinking that you're done. Another flight to him could be the end of flights to some. So what'd he think to do when they found scarring on his lungs? He breathed. Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis was the reason for his cough, but it couldn't break his focus. This battle he approaches, eyes wide on the target, his family, his friends, and everywhere his heart is, can guarantee he's fighting. He may not ski or run, but there is more for him to do. His work here isn't done. He's driven towards his mission. May we push him towards his goals, for he has taken action once again, and being bold is deep within his DNA. His father would be proud that he approached this IPF like he approached the clouds, giving life his very best per the doctor's orders. For IPF to him just means that I'll be pushing forward.
Journey on, down this road we all follow, through life's joy and sorrow we will rise and journey on.
This next journey belongs to Tammy. She is a busy wife and mother who works in special education, but her ability to care for others sometimes came at the expense of her own health. It wasn't until her dog became extremely attentive that she thought to herself, I wonder if I'm sick and I don't even know it. Less than a year later, she'd been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So can y'all say, Tammy's journey? She worked to keep her schedule. Her kids needed her for soccer. They needed her for band. No time to see the doctor. She tended to their father. A Wonder Woman's life includes being the best of moms and an even better wife. There's lots of sacrifice that is involved in being super. Her sidekick was a dog, and that dog could sense her future. Cancer has this thing it does where it hides away and waits. Discovery is either right on time or much too late. Some news is hard to shake. Some news is rough to bear. Her sister's recent passing made it hard for her to share. But share and stand she did. She never dimmed her light. She has a team of people who have joined her in her fight. The nurses and her family, the doctor and the dog, is just what she would need to get her flying through the fog and pushing through the halls and helping teachers teach so they can be their best in helping children with their needs. Being positive and happy is a choice that she has made. Her normal ain't the norm, but she finds good in all her days. She's been strong in all her ways. These threads in which she knits all make up the masterpiece of how she'll never quit.
Journey, journey on. Each step brings you closer to home. Remember, you're never alone. So we rise, together we'll rise and journey on. May you be courageous and strong as you dance on the wind to your song and journey on, journey on.
Our last journey is one of a young man who fought his way out of a troubled childhood, the loss of a brother to cancer, his mother's battle against addiction, and his own suicidal thoughts, only to face a new challenge: multiple sclerosis. But this next journey is personal. In fact, this journey is mine, and it's here where it meets with yours. I'm on Ocrevus now, and you all helped to make that happen. You were with me every step since diagnosis, down to a helpful phone call I received from a patient navigator before and after my infusion. Y'all let me know what would happen so it would be less scary. And now you see me walking and standing here today. I'm back to doing what I love. I'm sharing my story. So can I get everyone to scream at the top of their lungs? You can. My journey. At first, I thought, why me? Like, why was I not spared? I woke up to some numbness and my vision was impaired. I was scared. It's weird to speak to limbs that are deaf. I told myself to make a fist and couldn't seem to hear myself. I wish the common cure could help, a spill on a spoon. They ran some tests along my brain and found these lesions of doom, so my life is not the same now. I don't know what's to blame now. My brother died of cancer, so my mom's been acting strange now. She don't want to lose another. She still ain't over Eric. I still ain't over him, and it's been years since he's been buried. Gifted minds these days are punished. It seems like beauty comes with pain. We stand beneath the rainbow while there's acid in the rain. Scar tissue in multiple areas. This multiple sclerosis has my nervous system failing and my brain's losing control, and I fear what I don't know, y'all. This change is so abrupt. My sight has gotten blurry and my food's been coming up, and writing all this sucks. I feel like nothing helps. I think about my life while feeling closer to my death. But my grandma raised me strong, and I believe in God, I do. I know that he won't put on me what I can't make it through. So this guest is not invited. It's broken to my house. It's commandeered my motor skills and tried to kick me out. This is not my best of bouts. Sometimes it's tough to walk, but I've been fighting back because I'm governed by my thoughts. My grandma was a soldier. My mama is a fighter. I'm thankful for the powers that they gave me as a writer. If I should lose my limbs, then I will function through my pen. Sometimes we are damaged to be better than we've been. These lesions are the poems that I've tattooed on my brain. They're there until I write them to relieve myself of pain. I stand for anyone who has an illness they can't cure. You're dead the day you die, but until then, you must make sure that you live your life so full that your story here inspires. Show them that your illness pulled you down but brought you higher, that the devil is a liar and you're walking through the fire, that your voice is made uniquely so that you could lead the choir. You show them you're a fighter, you're an X-Man of your own. Your superpower is surviving everything that you've been thrown. Thank you. Thank y'all so much for having me here today. It's clear to me that we are all driven by the same mission. The people you help, and each and every one of you, we are all trying to reach the same place. But I only know part of that story from a patient's perspective. I have a friend who knows the rest. He knows about what goes into reaching folks like me. Can you please help me welcome your colleague from Market Analysis and Strategy in GBO and my fellow poet, Mr. Alex Bash.
Can everyone say, our journey? It takes a village to cease the pillaging of disease, so our mission is clear. Do now what they need next, about courage and respect, and act without fear. Because disease doesn't sleep, it won't admit defeat, it evolves and keeps up with the fight. It strikes and devastates day and night, in every state brings darkness to the light. But we have the expertise and technology to rewrite the rules of pathophysiology. It's our job to power our philosophy, defeat bad economies, policies, ideologies. If you're with customers face to face, at DNA Way or living out of a suitcase. If you're part of a team who supports conversations over journals and data reports, the key is to come together as one, collaborate, innovate, get the job done. Our mission-driven vision gives us vitality, helps make the X-Men a reality. We work adamantly, passionately, pure, to do what we do, what we can to be sure. What we deliver is the best we serve, to help patients live the life they deserve. So take action, we need your energy, to fight for our patients, our people, community. We each play a role, each own a piece of our heart. We come together as one, more than the sum of our parts.
May you never grow weary or weak with the friends and the faith that we keep. We'll journey on, courageous and strong. Journey on, on the way to yourself. Journey on, never alone, getting closer to her. Rise up, journey on, and we'll journey on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick, Tammy, and of course, Mr. Odd Rod. And now, please welcome our CEO, Bill Anderson.
We'll journey on, courageous and strong. Journey dance on the way to yourself.
Hey, Bill. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Me too.
Thanks, Rod. That was awesome. Thank you. Wow. That was cool. Yeah. Wow. I loved it. I loved it. That's great. I gotta check out your mode here, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's I haven't seen that before. I like
All
it.
over the internet. Find me.
I will. I got it. Wow. Well, thanks from the bottom of all our hearts for being here and just sharing a bit of your story. It's a really, yeah, just an amazing thing for us to connect with some of the people that we're here to serve. And maybe Rick, I'd start with you. And
Yeah.
you obviously you made it around the world, I'm sure many times in your job as a Navy pilot. But how has IPF kind of changed your movement and how you approach life?
Well, it certainly has slowed down, Bill. With lung diffusion around 50% now, I can't do like I used to do. And I can remember when I first started coming to the Strip, and some of you all may remember this stuff. Started at the South End, you know, hit the left side, hit all the casinos, all the shows, all the maybe bars, you know. Maybe take a break around 233, walk across the street, come back down to the south side and taking a few more shows and dinners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, believe it or not, I can still do it, but now I have to call on Uber. Yeah. Thank you for all the Uber drivers up in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought y'all had real jobs. No. But maybe getting back to answer your question, Bill, and probably from a 30,000-foot perspective, this is a big disease. Obviously, it has a tremendous downside to it. But I've been retired for 10 years, had this for about 10 years. And the thing that keeps you going is that, I've got priorities in life, and I'll name them: family and health, volunteer work, and faith. So I'm very busy in the church. And so there's a lot of moving parts here, but just remember that if you've got those priorities, you will at least be going in the proper direction. And I didn't think about this earlier when I talked to you, but the word mission, that's what we did when we flew. Now, those of you who think Top Gun was a real story,
You mean it wasn't?
even though the sequel's coming, but we had an old saying in the Navy, fighter guys make movies, and I'm an attack pilot. Attack pilots make history, and that's it. Okay. But every flight we ever went on, from training command and through operational, every flight we went on had a mission. And sometimes it took 2 to 3 days, 4 days to work up the mission. We would always spend an hour and a half before we flew the mission, spent another hour after we got back, rebriefing the mission to see what we did right or wrong. So I feel like I'm with you. The mission is so important.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm
just want to add one thing. I haven't got the cut yet, but that's because my wife is back here. I do really, really sincerely thank Genentech and those of you involved in the production of Espriet, because I think that medication is going to keep me moving forward, and I hope I can come back and do the strip many, many more times and see you all later. So thank you very much, Bill.
I hope so too, Rick. Yeah. I love it, and I'll have to compare notes with your wife later.
Yeah. I'll tell you what she says.
Tammy, you obviously you've had a life of service. Your profession, working in special education, working with people with cancer, more recently as well. What would you tell our folks about what they can do to help?
Well, to help anybody, one thing I've learned in the past 4 years is everybody has something. So it may be cancer, it may be another terminal illness, it may be another chronic disease. Everybody has something. And what I think is best is to help on the personal level. Everybody knows somebody that needs help. Find that person in your life. It could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be somebody you see behind you in the grocery store that needs help loading their groceries onto the cart. If you know somebody who's going through a tough time, buy them a gift card to their favorite restaurant. If somebody's in the hospital or at home not being able to work because they're on treatment and it's too much, go over to their house and watch their favorite movie with them. Help on the personal level. Donating to all those big organizations is fabulous, but realistically, what's been done by those big organizations in the past 30 years? Not enough. So on the personal level, to me, just send a card. It doesn't have to cost anything. Just send a card, say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And here's my big thing. If you know somebody who's out and they have a meal train going or whatever, don't call them and say, hey, let me know what I can do for you. Because we can't make those decisions at this point in our life. Our brains are not functioning like they used to. The best offer I got was somebody sent me an email and said, hey, I'm going to bring dinner by tonight. Is 6 o'clock a good time? And all I had to do say yes. She didn't ask me what we wanted. She didn't ask me to pick anything. That's the thing. Just don't ask anybody. Don't ask them what you can do. Just find something that you can do and do it. And I also want to say to you guys, it is absolutely amazing for me to stand up here and talk to you guys, you people who are keeping me alive. It's just amazing. The median lifespan for metastatic breast cancer patients is 3 years. I've made it 4 so far. Thanks to you guys. So when you have a bad day at work, because let's face it, we all do, and you just want to throw in the towel and not do it anymore, you remember this moment, and you remember us up here, and know how much we appreciate you.
That's beautiful. Rod, I told you I love that. I love your art. You started this profession 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
Yeah, around 8 years ago.
But you were diagnosed with MS just a year ago. How is your battle with MS? How has that shaped your art?
This is the anniversary. This time last year, I couldn't see and I couldn't walk, so I was terrified. Right. So crazy. I've been touring all these almost 600 cities and performing and encouraging students to live their best life, and then this hit. But it's just, to me, it was another wave in the ocean. I've been battling so much all my life, and I made it over. And this is another one of those things. So I take it, use it, and help it. As far as I'm concerned, the poem that you just heard was X-Men. My journey is actually called X-Men, and we're X-Men. We have a different way of fighting battles. We're superheroes for surviving. And I'm thankful for the ability that you guys gave. I'm Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman, I'm sorry. That's the thing, you whispered. We just inducted Woman into X-Men. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, all I can say is you guys are our heroes. And we so appreciate you, again, just being the wonderful people you are and being willing to come here and share some of your life with us. And I know the three of you all have, that long-term commitment to serving, and you've served us today. So let's thank Rod and Tammy and Rick one more time.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.